Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Arun, and if you're watching me live right now, whether you're on Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube, I welcome you all. Well, friends, as we are progressively learning together, the idea that I have brought today to discuss about remote interviews, online interviews, webinar interview, or a video interview. Well, we all have understood one thing, which is a fact now that pre-COVID, a lot of us were shy towards coming on camera. But post-COVID, the biggest learning that we all have gained that now we are very familiar and friendly with camera. Now, why I'm highlighting this piece? Because the confidence that you reflect when you are giving an online interview is going to be one of the important decider for your selection or rejection. And at this point of time, as we are talking in 2023, a lot of companies are now comfortable and it's like a norm in their system to take a video interview or an online interview before meeting the person face to face. If I say the same thing, couple of years back, people would never welcome very openly to take a video interview. They always wanted to take a face-to-face interview. So once we have understood the importance of online interview and it is pertinent and it is going to take place every second or every now and then it is very, very important that we should also develop our skills towards giving a very effective online interview, because that is going to be a maker or a breaker for you, for your next job, for the job that you are really dreaming for. So in that case, keeping that in mind, I'm preparing this video that will give you some very important tips that how to prepare for a online interview or a virtual interview that is normally being mentioned. Another thing that I want to highlight, like any other interview, there are two important critical factors that decide your selection or rejection. And that is, number one is called preparation and number two is called confidence. Now, as I said, whether you are giving a face-to-face interview or a virtual interview, you need to have a very good preparation, particularly now when you are getting used to this new norm of online interview. I have personally seen a lot of people are taking it very casually when it comes to online interviews, while only a few of them are very particular about how they will prepare, they will set up themselves, how they will set up the entire piece of technology around them that will enable them to give an interview very, very confidently. But don't worry, in this video, I'm going to take you through all those important tips, secrets, and those hacks that will help you to prepare very well for your next online interview if you are really going for it sooner or later. So don't go anywhere, and also don't forget to like and subscribe my channel, because a lot of content I'm creating for your benefit and for your growth, so you will be intimated once a new video is uploaded. So now let's get into the presentation, which will take another 15-20 minutes max to give you a perspective about what exactly it means to have some solid tips when it comes to preparing for a remote job interview. Now, I will cover this presentation into three parts. The first part from my side is always about confidence in an interview, and confidence is reflected with a positive attitude. So which means that how to reflect a positive attitude in your virtual interview. That is the first piece that I will address. Second piece is how to prepare for a virtual interview and how it is different from the point of view of a physical interview. That's what you're going to learn. And the third piece is how to ace a video interview or a virtual interview in terms of location, environment, background, and setup. A lot of thoughts have been running around from various corners, but what I have done is I have clubbed everything together. And as I am right now remotely recording this video, I will be giving you a lot of practical tips which I personally use when I record such situations, and similar situations arise when you are giving a remote interview. So let's get into the first part, and that is how to reflect a positive attitude in a virtual interview. The number one and the foremost step that I would recommend, whether it is a physical or a virtual interview, make sure to smile and appear confident. Now, a lot of people, when they are not confident, either you look down or you look here and there, and also you tend to speak faster. But if you have a smile on your face, particularly when you are on a virtual interview, it reflects that first thing is that you are confident and you are looking forward to an interview with the organization and the panel which is going to talk to you. Number two, have your questions handy on your notepad. Because it's a virtual interview, so only this portion of your body is visible, and many a times your contact is directly with the person whom you are speaking. So it's better that you do your work in advance by making notes of writing down some questions that you already have in your mind. And likewise, what is most important reflection of high confidence and positive attitude is you should pause and listen closely when the interviewer or the panel is speaking. I have seen a lot of people make a mistake of just jumping on the answer the moment the last word is spoken by the interviewer, which simply means that you are more preparing your answer in your mind than you were just thinking about the question, what that question has said. And this is very keenly observed by the interviewer. So, in other words, once the interviewer states a question or gives any statement, or normally in good interviews, the interviewer will brief you about the role, they'll tell you about what exactly the role is, their organization is, what kind of candidate they are looking out. Have a notepad and keep making notes when somebody is speaking. And in subsequent questions or any question that is asked to you, take a pause of 2 to 3 seconds before you respond to that answer, which means there has to be some space between the question asked and the answer given. And that's where it reflects that you are well prepared, you are composed in your thoughts when you are answering those questions. Most importantly, always thank the interviewer at the beginning for giving you an opportunity to come forward in for a face-to-face round or a virtual round. And also, as you conclude, that you are very happy that you got this opportunity to meet that person virtually and also understand what are the thought process. These are like good manners. These are like good gestures that you can reflect. Another very important tip for showing a positive attitude and confidence is that arrive early for the video call. You should not be given a reminder by your job consultant or by the hiring manager who is on the other side that you are still yet to come and arrive on the video call. Rather, you should, if your time given is 12 in the noon, you should be ready by 11:55. You should have logged in. A lot of people mistake they make is they log in at 12 when the time starts, and that is late. On time means at least 5 to 7 minutes before you should log in. Now, if you reflect these things directly and indirectly during your interview, they are surely going to reflect a very high positive attitude before and during the virtual interview round that is likely to take place. Now we move into the second part. As already I have covered about the notes, so you have to make notes as things. Now let's get into the second part. The second part is how to prepare for virtual interviews. Now, this preparation to an extent is more or less similar to how we prepare for a face-to-face round, because this is all about your preparation. You need to know what job that you are in. You need to know that whom you are getting interviewed. You need to know in detail about the organization that you are applying. So let's understand there are certain tips that I would like to add. Number one, find out company's mission and vision. I always recommend that just don't jump on the interview just because you are familiar with the people on the other side or you know the organization. Let's say we talk about Dell, we talk about Apple, we talk about Google, or any such name which is very prominent in your industry. Don't go by the perception that you know them well. It is always good to visit their website, understand what is their vision, what are the products that they have, what is the new pipeline of products they are planning to come, what are the rewards, what are the awards, what are their HR initiatives that has recently taken to increase the employee engagement. That gives you an idea that what you are getting into and where they are right now. So understanding mission and vision is one part, but understanding the whole gamut of their organizational culture is important, and which is these days reflected on social medias or on their official websites. So first thing is that you need to do. Number two is you should be thoroughly reading the job description provided to you. Why? Because in job description, the HR has already put in a lot of effort in making an image of the candidate that they want. So they would reflect the job description in terms of the role. They will reflect the competencies which are relevant to that role. And also, what are the key responsibility areas that are relevant for the job? Now, once you go through all this, you will have a picture in your mind that what kind of person that they are looking up to. I would go a step ahead and I would recommend that if it is your first round, second round, or third round, try to find out people in that organization if by chance you know, or through your job consultant, and try to understand exactly what they are looking at in the person that they want to hire, because that gives you a very steady notes in your mind that okay, this is what I need to prepare. These are those thoughts which are not generally mentioned in the job description. So when you read a job description, when you speak to a person, you have a very clear sketch of what kind of person they are looking at, and then you start preparing towards your own achievements, your own goals, and how you are the right person who is fit for that given position. Another very important area is determine what to wear, dress code. Now, as you know that during an online interview, only this portion of your body is exposed. So some people only wear a shirt and they can wear pajamas below or shorts, whatever, that's okay. Because what is important is you need to understand, as I said, understanding the company. So whether you have to wear a formal tie or a blazer when you are giving a interview and the panel is of board of directors, or is it like a advertising agency where a casual attire is something taken as a very normal thing to wear. So whatever that may be the case, you need to match your dress code. And if you have no other understanding, I would personally recommend wear a smart shirt, and that's it. That's good enough to showcase that you are professional. But wearing a very funky t-shirt or having a hairstyle which is not suited to the role will definitely reflect that you are very casual. So this is very important, because at least this portion, whichever is visible right now that you are seeing me, has to be presentable, has to be liked by the person who is going to interview you. The next part is research the interviewer. As I said that today, because it's a virtual round, so obviously you would know that who is going to interview you, and also if there are more than one interviewer. And since you would know the name of the company, you would know the name of the interviewer, you can always find out the profile of that person on LinkedIn. Who is he? What background he is from? For how long he has been working in this organization, what are the type of achievements he has got, if he has shared that on LinkedIn or on other social media platforms. That gives you a clear picture about that person. And also you can visit their organizational website and find out about the bios if they are available officially or in public domain. Understand that, because that will give you a preparation in your mind that what kind of a person you are meeting to. And that also helps you to prepare yourself in focusing your answer that what they are exactly looking. Because by now you would have already read about the job description, have spoken to job consultant, and if you have already been to one or two rounds, you would have got a flavor of what this organization values more, what is their core objective in hiring that particular role that they are searching in that person. Then comes very important point while you are doing an interview: practice avoid touching face and hair. Now, why I have chosen these two very important words: if you have seen that I'm speaking for the last 15 minutes, but I have not touched my face like this, or I have not done like this, or I have not done like this, I have not done like this. If I do like this, what it reflects? It reflects poor confidence. You would see that a lot of people will do something like this, and that shows, that you are skeptical about your responses, you are not too sure, and you are not well prepared. So practice avoid touching your face and hair. This is a very phenomenal, because in online interview this is more visible, as you have seen when I acted 2 3 times, how clearly visible it was when you were listening to me. Now we come to the next part, and this is one of the most crucial part of a remote interview, and that is what we call it as your interview location, environment, background, and setup. Now, even before I go into the tips that are mentioned over here, let me first give you a real-time example as I'm speaking to you right now. Now, when it comes to speaking to you right now, I have not been taking, I am right now in my office and I am here very early. It's around 8:30 a.m. right now that I'm here, which means that there is least disturbance in my office, least noise of traffic around this place, and I'm all alone right now. What does it mean? It simply means that I've chosen a location which is quiet, which is of less disturbance, and also a place where I have got a very good internet connectivity. And if you look at my background, it's a white wall. It's a plain wall which has got nothing in the background. There is no disturbing element behind which is going to get any distraction to the person who is right now watching me. So if you can understand this basics, it clearly shows that how serious I am to make this presentation, how serious I am that this presentation should go effectively. And likewise, when you are preparing for an interview, when you want to sound confident, you cannot have a disturbance coming from your kitchen, from your dog, or from your family members, or some noise that will just come out when somebody just switch on the car and there is a beep around it. Somebody is passing out in the morning and going for the office. So let's understand this in more detail, because in remote interviews or in virtual interviews, this is one of the most important factor that will come as a part of your preparation in acing a virtual interview. So the number one thing is find a perfect spot for taking the video call. So even if you are at home and you don't have the luxury of going to an office, find out a place which has the least amount of distraction. Maybe it's a corner in your place. And if you cannot find a place in your home, then you should find out a co-work space or a cafe nearby where it is quiet and there is least amount of disturbance around that area, because that is where you want to focus more on the interview than on getting distracted here and there. Then use a clean, neat, professional, and natural background. As I mentioned, if you look at it, this is a white wall, or maybe you have virtual backgrounds these days on Zoom, which you can, or on Teams, that you can use it to create a virtual office space behind you, and that also will work very well. Now, this is because that you don't want to create a distraction on your background if it's your bedroom, or it's something like that your family members are walking around. So the virtual background is something very important these days, and if you can have your own background in your space, do that. Number 14 is sign in early to get a clear test run. Now, the moment I started this presentation, I did 2 test runs, whether the recording is in place, whether my audio in the recording is audible, whether my face is glowing correctly, because right now I have used a circle light which is just ahead of me, which is a white light coming on my face, which is glowing it. So I did this clear dry runs before I entered into it. Now, as I said, preparation is important for your confidence that should be reflected during your interview. And that's how your planning, your location, your setup will give you that confidence in you. Take the video call where your Wi-Fi is strongest. I have seen it very personally at my home. In my bedroom, the Wi-Fi is little weaker because the bedroom is in the Wi-Fi is kept in the drawing room. So whenever I have to take a very important call, either I use my phone's Wi-Fi because that is the strongest, I can have it closest to me. And right now, as I'm talking to you, I'm using a phone Wi-Fi, not the office Wi-Fi, because I know if there is a power cut, I do not have a current backup. So I decided instead of taking the office Wi-Fi, I will go with my phone's Wi-Fi because I know that it is fully charged and it is not going to go away. Now, these are some of the very simple, very small tips, but they are very, very relevant, because imagine if you are giving an interview and all of a sudden there is a power which goes off. What will you do? It seriously disturbs the whole pattern. And then coming back, rebooting the system and realigning will take a lot of time, and that's the most crucial moment that will be gone out of your head when somebody is taking your interview. Next is determine if you will use headphones or a computer audio. A lot of times people are confused about it because you have the options of using headphones, particularly wireless headphones. I preferably would say when I am in a place where let's say I'm in a cafe or in a co-work space, I would prefer to use a wireless headphone because I do not want to disturb the audience around. And also it has got a noise cutting ability. So if I use that, I am more comfortable. But right now, as I'm in my office, I prefer to use a computer audio because I know it's a disturbance-free place and I can speak directly. I can listen somebody very clearly. The 17th tip is test your remote video setup for background noise. This is what I said. I just did that before I started this video. So likewise, when you are doing an interview preparation, you should do a remote video setup background noise. Because if there is something, let's say that if it's an area near the airport, you will see a lot of flights going by in a particular time and you will be disturbed. Right now, as I'm talking ahead of the screen, my window, it's a metro that keeps passing. So I know I have chosen a time that it should not be disturbing this call because my machine, the laptop that I have has got a noise cancellation. So hopefully it will not be a great disturbance in terms of noise. Then the next point is if using a new platform, test the service with a friend. Now, I am not very familiar with Teams as I am highly familiar with either Google Meet or I am very familiar with Zoom. So whenever I have to whenever I know that my call is on a Teams network, I normally try and test it with a friend. Now I'm either more familiar with that, so I don't do it very often. But if there is a new platform the client is using, if you're in a high-tech company, you never know that organization is sending you something new which you are not familiar with. It's very important to get handy with that platform. Try it with your friend, with your relatives once or twice, do a dry and demo calls. That will make you familiar with the new gadgets or the new tools that that particular device would have. 19 is that having a phone call as a backup plan. A lot of time during the interview, even in spite of all the right things that you have done, you might find that this particular system will go off, some problem may occur. So even before you start the interview, you announce to the interviewer that you have a phone which is handy and ready. In case the system goes off, you are 100% available on an audio or a WhatsApp video call. Because many a times, in spite of all the right efforts that we have taken to have the good setup, there are also chances that all of a sudden the signals will drop and the audio and the video quality will go down. Now, if you have a phone call or a phone handy with you right now, it makes it easier to continue the discussion because not every time everything will happen with you. Sometimes it can happen on the other side also at the interviewer side that his signals will go off. And that's the time you should say that I'm available on phone so that your interview should carry on and continue. The 20th tip is that having a backup internet plan. As I said that in my current recording that I'm doing, I'm not doing it through my Wi-Fi, my office Wi-Fi. I'm doing it through a hotspot with my phone because I know that because in this place there are frequent power cuts, particularly in summer, and when the power goes off, I will be deprived of my Wi-Fi. So likewise, I prefer this. You can choose a backup internet plan in case something is not happening well. You can always switch on to a powerful Wi-Fi which is closest to your system. And last but not the least, if you have headphones which are wireless, make sure they are charged. Many a times we are under the assumption that you have already charged your headphones, but if the interview is going to take longer time, maybe 60 minutes or 2 hours, you have some presentation to make and some more questions are expected, probably it will drain out. Or you have another backup pair of wireless phones with you so that headphones with you so that you can continue your call. So I hope these around 20-21 tips would have given you some fair idea. And another bonus tip that I normally give, which I did here also before I started my presentation, to clean the camera. So use a handkerchief and clean your camera before the interview. Many times you have not cleaned it and some dust has settled on your camera. So it will not give a clear picture. It will have a hazy picture on the other side. And you don't want to give a bad impression when you are giving an interview and the job that you are looking out. Well, if you want to reach me out, I have my email ID, arun.thukral@xnconnect.in. If you want to understand more, you can reach me out on my email ID. I can give you more tips and help you to prepare better for this interview ahead. Now, having said that, I'm glad that we have been able to create some real work on interview preparation in my playlist on my YouTube. So you can go through and learn a lot of other important areas that how they will help you to prepare well for your next interview. And if you have found these 21 tips useful, I want you to share below with your comment section that how did you find it, what more you want, so that we can carry on with this discussion ahead. Thanks a lot. Thanks for watching me and stay there. I'm going to come soon again with some more very relevant content that will help you to inspire and that will help you to prepare better for your next job. Thanks a lot.